Now, much of the shooting as well as the police activity, of course, played out in the parking lot right in front of your apartment. Just tell us what you saw yesterday.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. I live in an apartment that is directly across from the King Soopers. So we can see the entire front of the store from our front window in our apartment. So I first heard gunshots. I have never been around guns, so I didn't realize that they were gunshots. I thought they were fireworks or like an engine failing on a car. And so I looked outside after I heard maybe 10 shots, expecting anything but a gunman. And I saw two main things. I saw a body in the middle of the parking lot. And I know that the person was deceased because they had brought a body bag a few minutes later. And then I saw the gunman firing from his rifle, looked like a semi-automatic, at one particular spot. He was on the handicap ramp going up to the entrance of the store. He stopped and he sort of aimed behind him and was firing sort of rapid fire at one area, which I assume was another person, though my vision was blocked. And then he turned around and entered the store. And quickly after that, I saw people fleeing the store and I heard screaming.
Anna, do you have an idea of how the timeline went from the time that the gunman went inside the store, people started fleeing? How did things unfold from there? Was it a matter of minutes before things started to quiet down again, or did it go on and on for a long period of time? I know you couldn't really see what was happening, but how long did sort of the chaos play out?
I mean, it felt like a long time, but the police were there within likely 5 minutes, and it escalated very quickly from that point. Just within a few minutes, the police were there, SWAT teams were there, there were helicopters, FBI. I mean, everybody was there very quickly, and my roommate and I sort of watched everything unfold over the course of maybe 5 hours, and over 5 hours it never really died down, the chaos. And yeah, so it felt like a long standoff, but I'm sure just with our headspace, it felt a lot longer than it was at the same time.
Anna, tell us a little bit more about the police activity that you saw, because from what we were able to see just from what was being played out on camera, we saw a large police presence, but then it was quite some time before we heard anything from police in that press conference later, which we also didn't learn a ton in, but we do know that police entered from the roof of the building and things like that. What were you able to actually see there firsthand during those hours?
Yeah, so we saw 20 to eventually 20 to 30 police vehicles in the parking lot, all flashing their lights. We saw SWAT teams and policemen go into the building, through the roof, through the entrance, in large numbers over the course of several hours. Groups of 10 to 12 officers or SWAT members would go into the building. And it really felt like they never stopped coming. Fire trucks came, like I said, sort of SWAT vehicles came. There were helicopters that came, and it really didn't feel like it was going to stop at any point.
Anna, you are a witness, you are a journalist, you're also a neighbor. This is the grocery store across the street from you. I don't know if it's a grocery store that you ever went inside yourself, but clearly I just want to give you a moment to sort of tell us how you're feeling right now, what you're thinking about your neighborhood, and what are the most important messages you want to get across to people who are watching right now.
Yeah, so my roommate and I definitely go into that store primarily for all of our groceries. We're there, I mean, it's a 2-minute walk, so we go there almost every day. If we need anything, even just one thing, we'll go there. We are not going to go there within at least for a couple of weeks. I don't think either of us can mentally. And I do want to emphasize that witnessing what I witnessed, it was absolutely traumatizing, and I do need to work through that. But there are also families of the victims and people who were in the actual store, and those people really need the bulk of our support.